mean what I say, and I say it because I mean. I mean what I say, and I say it. April 25th, 2020. Know I'm talking about. Caught a bad hit, got assaulted, even maced out, but I stay stiff. Case dismissed, I don't plead out. Did enough time, I'ma spend every day out, every day forward. It's federal, yo, I'm on it. Every paperwork I sign, Scott Roby is on it. I mean what I say, and I say it because I mean. I went from no say to pro say and everything in between. Hey man, y'all weren't even supposed to be getting that yet. This is not even the proper release date for that. Let me just stop it right there. It's going to be an official release date for that, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned for that. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I appreciate y'all, man. Hey, we gonna be in here for a while. We got some things to go over with. We got some things to review and to discuss. So y'all hang in there. I wanna start off by thanking. I want to thank my supporters, man. You know, if it wasn't for y'all, you know, y'all helped me get through this at least about 40%, 45%. You know what I'm saying? Other support that's personally around me helped me get through this. You know, my higher power helped me get through this. So I want to thank him first. And I want to shout out to everybody who responded, who supported me through the whole 2 years. 30 months actually, okay, of this pre-trial detainment. So yeah, shout out Mr. Buddy Wolf guy. He's a good supporter. Sean Duffy. Who else we got? Mark Shire. I want to shout out Mark Shire. OKC Cal, that's my man. Jerry Bushman. Shout out to Jerry Bushman. Jerry Bushman said take him to school. I'm going to take him to school. Shout out to Jerry Bushman. Kenny Powers. Who else we got? John Lococo. Shout out to John Lococo. Vanzin. Godfather X. Shout out to Godfather X. Loyal supporter. Appreciate you. Daryl O'Donnell. Grab it hard. Right to Freedom Girl. William Sharon. The Django ATX Audits. My man. Paula Weldington. Claus News Now. Southeastern PA Community Watch. Loyal supporter. One of my soldiers out there when I go out there to record. Shout out Southeastern PA Community Watch. Papa Chuck. Loc Resistor UK. Special shout outs. Perfect Sense is free to stay. Special shout outs. The Queen. The Queen Renetta Williams. Special shout out. Captain Rob. Chris Schaefer. We about to get into it, y'all, but I gotta recognize y'all first. Joe Casano, all the way from Florida. My man Joe Casano, John Denicola. Hometown. That's his hometown, Boston. I'm just a resident of Boston. I'm from Philadelphia. But when I think of John Denicola, I think of hometown. Shout out to John Denicola. Curious George, or George Curious. Stop resisting justice. Latin Indian. Cajun Randy 214. Gotta shout y'all out. Appreciate y'all, man. It was a huge victory. A huge victory. Antonio Mao. Janine N. Kevin Werner. Mark Wunderlich. Richard Saunders. Shout out to Richard Saunders. Parker Osmond. J.S. Johnson. Republic. Private 9. Shout out to Private 9. Cali Win X. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. We about to get into a lot of things, y'all. Gotta recognize y'all first, though. If it wasn't for y'all, hey, I wouldn't even be out here doing this. Strictly business. Shout out Strictly Business. Once again, shout out Perfect Sense. It's free to stay. Moderator of the stars. Fiery Bevins. Ray Z. Donnie W. Green. James Williams. Jenny Jones. Rhino. Shout out to Rhino. Appreciate y'all. Hey, we about to get into this, man. We turn this music down just a little bit. Once again, I want to shout all y'all out. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all definitely was hell of a support. Hell of a support for me throughout these 2.5 years. Oh, man, it got crazy. It went up and went down and went sideways. It's just, it was a hell of a trip. What we got going on? Yeah, very wonderful weekend. My Saturday is lovely. Once again, shout out to Renetta Williams, the Queen. Rena Savage. I see y'all. The gang's all here. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe, please. Like, share, and subscribe, because I say that because good news is hard to spread. All right? And we all know that line. Bad news goes around fast. Okay? And we all know that if I was convicted yesterday, I'd have been one of the hottest, if not the hottest topic within this one-day community. Okay? And I also would have been great content for the ops. Great content for the ops. The resistance. My name would have been firing all over the internet, and y'all know that. But when it comes to the good news, and when it comes to the resistance, because I speak about myself, and ladies and gentlemen, let me just say, I've been demonetized from YouTube. A lot of you guys don't even get my notifications, and that's because of that situation right there. But I'm still going to bring it. I'm always going to bring it. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure most of you who, follow resistance know that I've been taking off lately, and I'm pretty sure y'all know it was due to the upcoming case. So I'm still going to bring the content, demonetized or not. I'm not going to stop. It's not going to stop. But I say that I appreciate y'all supporting me. And good news is hard to spread. And I'm going to show you why good news is hard to spread. So quick update real quick before we get into the program. I just want to, where are we? Here we go, right here. Boom. Okay. I'm going to play this video real quick for y'all, but if you can read this, that says, Perfect Sense is free to stay. My moderator, the moderator of the stars, was kind enough to share the 1A victory of We the People member, the Resistance, on Poor Dirt Farmers YouTube channel. And I know a lot of y'all don't know about who Poor Dirt Farmer is. Okay, I'm gonna keep it real quick. I'm just gonna say he's a propagandist. You know, he likes to speak for a certain group of people, and you know, within his channel, what he does over there is all fuckery. You might get sucked in by his persona. You might like his voice. But if you're a fuck person like him, then you will be in that community with him. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But this is how hard it is to spread good news. Not even able to set aside his differences for a 1-8 victory from we, the people. Let's get into this short video real quick.
You only got 26 now. You only got 26 now. I was your 27th. But now I'm your 20. You have 26.
So for those who didn't read the caption, it basically explained that what happened was Perfect Sense used to be a moderator in Poor Dirt Farmer's channel. Something happened. He didn't. He took a wrench back. And she just simply went over there to, celebrate the 1-8 victory. And they didn't take it too well. This is how they felt. They also thought that it was me. It was one of my sock accounts. Everybody knows who Perfect Sense is. And everybody knew that she's real. For some reason, he thought it was my sock account.
You know, these people want to come out here and talk all their crap. And then 10 minutes later, they want to come back out here and share their fortunes. What? Do you want donations? What are you asking for? So what? You won your case. Look at all the other crap that you did.
So like I said, he's a propagandist, and you just heard the statement he just made. So what? You won your case. So what? He doesn't care about who wins the case. I'm sorry. Let me take that back. He does care about who wins the case. He has a little thing against me. I addressed him in my live, which is not even worth mentioning because what he's into is totally different what I'm into. But I addressed him. He had a problem with it. And ever since, he's been having a bone to pick. So this is how he feels about 1-8 victories.
So what? You won your case. Look at all the other crap that you did and said.
What do we know about it?
That's what I say too. No, a while I had to go check and make sure. I said, yeah, that's him. That's his troll account. And I was served to it. I was not no more. I'm not going to be playing your game, dude. You could act like you got some sense, but you don't.
All right, pause real quick. So Fiery Bevan says, so what does he do? Is he also another auditor or what? So what he does is really not clear. His main interest is chasing people who follow behind minors, if you know what I'm saying. Serious people like that. That's what his obsession is, from my observation. That's what he mainly does. But it seems as well that he is for, police accountability and for upholding the law as well. And higher ups, as far as in the government with the Supreme Court, the whole judicial system. It seems as though he is for those things, and he wants transparency as well. But it seems as though his channel likes to delve into other business that has nothing to do with accountability, transparency pertaining to the government. That's a quick and short story of that. I'm done with explaining about him. But that's who he is. We're going to go on to the next segment of the video. So because he got it messed up that he thought Perfect Sense was my sock account, my troll account, I decided to go to his live stream and correct his ignorance, but he wouldn't let me up.
Hey, Resistance, why are you in my basement?
Oh my goodness.
Don't you see there's 6 people on the panel? You won your case. Yeah, you came in earlier in your sock account name, and I think they blocked you, so now you're back in my basement. Resistance, there's no room at the inn for you. Please go away. You've been trespassed. Cease and desist. Go away, Resistance. I don't have no time for people like you in my life. There's too many good people out there that I would rather try to help and stand up for, and you're not one of them to me anymore, Resistance.
Right. Nova needs he needs another card. He needs a laptop.
He needs a laptop.
Yeah. To cash his check.
I was gonna say, don't forget that. Hey, I lost respect for him. I used to respect him.
And once again, he doesn't respect me because I simply confronted him about something that I didn't appreciate that he did, and I told him don't do it again. So we had that little indifference, and like I said, his bias against me overshadows the 1-8 victory for we the people. It's crazy.
Since I lost respect for him, I don't know if it'll ever be able to come back because of the way he acted.
Oh, you know, show care and help Nova.
I'm pretty sure I've made it pretty clear how I feel about the bitch fan.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's make it clear. I want to make it clear I'm playing this for transparency. Everything I do on my channel is for transparency. You probably didn't hear this guy. His name is Notably Nova, and he doesn't call me Resistance. He calls me the Rebitchtance. So I just wanted y'all to be clear that that's what was said, and I'm putting it out there.
The way they act, they think they are better than me. And I mean, he thinks he's better than me. I'm not allowed to stand up for black people because I'm not black, and I'm not a good enough white person to stand up for black people, he told me. Pretty much word for word.
Fucked up.
Well, that's Resistance for you.
Huh? I'm nobody, so I expect that, you know.
Yeah, you're a nobody.
I'm nobody.
Shout out to Amy.
That's messed up. How you're somebody to me, Commander?
Shout out to American Amy.
Well, that's something, but you know.
Hey, you're somebody to Avon, Commander. Yeah, you're somebody to Avon. As long as she's willing to put that flag down on you, you'll be all right.
That's what I'm saying, you know. And of course, I have screenshots to show. I took screenshots of you in the basement to prove that you're in there, Resistance.
He's talking about me in the backstage. I was definitely backstage trying to get up there to correct him and let him know, no, Perfect Sense is free to stay as a real account. It's a real person. And, you know, she was only simply there to spread the news of the 1-8 victory of the Resistance, but he wouldn't allow it. Started a lot of drama. Like I said, it's hard to spread the truth. That's the reason why I played you guys this video. Shout out to Amy Williams. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Rhonda, right to Freedom Girl. We about to get into it, y'all. I hope y'all can hang around. It's Saturday night. Good night to do this. We're going to do a quick review of the case. If y'all want to come up and ask me some questions, y'all can come up. Quick questions. I'll give you quick answers. If I don't know it, I don't know it. Whatever I know, I know. But y'all can come up and, you know, we could do some questions and answers real quick about the review of the case. And then we could get into the federal lawsuit. I know y'all want to hear about that. I ask y'all to like, share, and subscribe because I'm giving y'all this information not as advice, but from my personal experience. Please know I'm not a lawyer. I'm just showing y'all how I do it. All right? So, yeah, a lot of y'all didn't know nothing about the federal lawsuit, and that's been put in since February. Little did y'all know. I don't like to give a lot of information out. I'm sorry. That's just me personally. When it comes to these arrests and, you know, these lawsuits that happen in videos, a lot of people think I just record. Well, I choose to let them think that because I don't never want to give information that's premature, okay? I don't ever want to start nothing that's premature. I'd rather let it play out, and however it ends, I'll give you the information. But at the time when I put in a federal lawsuit, I didn't think that was a good enough time because the criminal proceedings weren't even over with yet. So when the truth comes for me to give it to the people, and God gives me the, you know, the excuse me, when God gives me the right of way, the green light to give it to y'all, that's when I give it to y'all. So once again, shout outs to all y'all. If y'all do, I'm gonna put the link in the chat. If you do want to come up and ask me some questions, no problem. I will do that. I'm gonna put the link in there right now. What situation was this court case about? All right, so court case was 2 years ago. I got video and everything for us to go over. Court case was 2 years ago. It was me recording a traffic stop, and once the traffic stop was over with, I went to the driver's side window to ask the lady a question, and the cop told me to get off the street. I got out the street, but I was asking him at the same time, what law did I break? And he kind of like physically backed me into the sidewalk. I walked around the car on the sidewalk, stepped off the curb again, and the police officer gripped me up, threw me up on the wall, locked me up. I beat all charges, resisting arrest, assault and battery on the cop, and disorderly. I beat all 3 of them. Jury heard the case, but they didn't get a chance to decide. The judge dismissed all charges due to no claim of a crime, no basis of a crime. Dismissed all charges. So that's the gist of the whole case, and that was 30 months ago, April 25th, 2020. All right, so what we're going to do, if you want to ask questions, I would suggest you come up because I'm doing a lot of, I got a lot of screens up so I can give this to y'all in the right format. So I would suggest if you guys want to ask any questions, hit the link and come up, please. No problem. Shout out to Alan Verplank. Appreciate you. Go Fives. What's going on? What's up? All right, so I guess I can pull this up, and I'll pull the video up as well. So the first video I'm going to pull up is, I believe this is not the video. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Apologize about that. All right. So, shout out to Pamela Brown. Thank you. Appreciate that. This on the left is the federal lawsuit. On the right is the body cam footage that was the most telling. Okay. This body cam footage was the most telling because Officer Roby, who was the arresting officer, he claimed that I was disorderly. So wait a minute. I'm going to say Nicole Gabertino was the prosecutor and was representing Scott Roby in the state of Massachusetts as well. So she was claiming that when I was in the street speaking to the lady on the driver's side of the car, she was claiming that I was creating a hazardous condition because I was in the middle of the roadway. Shout out to Real Janky. She said I was creating a hazardous condition because I was in the middle of the roadway when I clearly wasn't in the middle of the roadway and I wasn't impeding any traffic. So that was the disorderly that they claim I was doing. Then they said the resisting arrest was because I was pulling away. So the elements of resisting arrest is fighting an officer and trying to get away. And then in the video evidence, it shows that I was not fighting. It shows that I was backing up. And it shows at one point that I had my arm straight to my side and my other hand holding the camera. And was never resisting arrest. A lot of people think resisting arrest is because you're running away. You're resisting arrest. No, that's not complying with an officer's command. That's what that means. That's resisting arrest is physically using force against the officer from getting him to not arrest you. That's not what I did. What I did was just simply back away from the danger that I was in. I kept my arm to the side purposely because I didn't want them to say that I was trying to hit them. All right. So I put my hand up. I kept my hand up recording to document everything that was happening, because this officer, because I didn't respect his command of staying out the street when I stepped off the curb the second time, and I stepped off the curb just to get his name and badge while he was on the other side of the cruiser about to get in onto the driver's side. So I wanted his name and badge because, number one, he threatened my liberty. He threatened my liberty. This is the civil case. We're going to go through this. This is a little ride, you know. Shout outs to y'all. I appreciate it. If y'all like, share, and subscribe, we're going to get into it. But once he threatened my liberty, I felt as though I needed to get his name and badge because I didn't commit a crime. If anything, if he wanted to cite me for being out in the street for jaywalking or whatever, that's $1 fine. It's not even an arrestable offense. He also testified to that in court. He admitted to that. It's not an arrestable offense. Okay. So, and then the assault and battery came when he claimed that I intentionally stuck 5 pounds of pressure with my nail into his hand. And I've requested the transcripts and the recording from court, and I'm hoping that I get those exhibits as well. If not, I'll be back down to the courthouse. But I was just thinking about that when they showed the jury the picture of this slit, like a paper cut on his hand, maybe just a little bit wider than a paper cut. And, you know, didn't even look, you know, like it was fresh. Didn't even look like wasn't any redness around it. Just looked like a cut, like he probably had already had it. But I can't say where he got the cut from. All I know is there was no intentions for me to give him a cut on his hand, because that's one of the elements of assault and battery, to intentionally hurt the officer. And that's assault and battery on a cop I was charged with. So all the elements of those charges was the intent. Disorderly, I had to be out there with no purpose, causing ruckus, you know, causing a problem in the public. That's what disorderly is. Or tumultuous behaviors, you know, ensuing into fights and stuff, and, you know, gathering a crowd to incite them. I've done none of that. Child's perfect sense is free to stay. So can we call you, John, or is it out of the question? LOL. No, y'all can call me. I just gotta put the number up on the banner. Y'all could call in. I'm gonna put it in for y'all right now. One second. Here y'all go. So if you want to call in, you could call in too. That's the number. So yeah, one of all the elements is intent. Like, I had no intent to be disorderly because I was just out there recording. It clearly shows that. It clearly shows that from my standpoint and from the body cam standpoint of the two officers. It clearly shows I had no intent to resist arrest because I didn't do anything wrong in the first place. And it surely shows that I didn't have any intent to harm the officer, because in the video I was backing up the whole time. Perfect sense to know your name, silly. Oh. Whatever. Y'all can call me John. Y'all can call me the Resistance. Y'all can call me Mr. Color, Mr. McCullough. Y'all can call me whatever you want, respectfully. On to the case, though. Shout outs to Perfect Sense is free to stay. She mentioned your name, Tion. Listen, I'm trying to give it to y'all. I dig it now. I see what she talking about now, but I'm trying to give y'all this real juice. We got 25 people in here. I hope we got these people that's interested in, you know, finding out what's going on with the case and how I move forward with the federal lawsuit. But shout outs again, Perfect Sense is free to stay. She funny. Look at her. Smiley faces. Yeah, so the elements to those charges were the intent, and it clearly shows with resisting arrest and assault and battery that there was no intent, especially with the assault and battery, because he came to approach me. He had to at least walk 4 feet to get to me, and once he approached me, I started walking back. He grabbed the collar of my jacket. He starts pushing me backwards. He starts grabbing my arm. The assistant arresting officer comes and grabs my other arm. Okay. Only time that my arms move is when they grab them. They take it to the back and they arrest me. And once again, not guilty on all three of those charges. Straight up. Let's get into the video real quick. This is the quick video. This is the most telling video right here. This is Officer Woods, the assisting arresting officer. Okay. This is right there. Let me just take it back real quick. Officer Woods is assisting this officer right here, the arresting officer, Scott Roby. He's assisting Scott Roby with a traffic stop. Scott Roby was done with his stop when I approached the driver. Okay. Now, they tried to say that I was causing a hazardous condition within the roadway, but it was clear that these two cruisers indicated that there was a traffic stop, and any traffic coming down from this way going forward would know that they would have to use the passing lane to continue on. Me, myself, I'm actually further in than his vehicle is because the vehicle that they stopped is further in towards the sidewalk. So there's no way that I could be causing a hazardous condition. They tried to say it within the video that a vehicle passed by and had to swerve a little or apply brakes because of me being in the roadway. But the judge interjected very clearly and said, no, that car had no problem traveling down the road. We'll get to that. But this is Officer Woods assisting on the traffic stop. Now the traffic stop is over, and while I've already approached the vehicle on the driver's side of the car, and now Officer Roby is approaching me, telling me to get out the street, and he mentions that if I don't get out the street, I'm gonna get locked up. Santa will be coming in shortly. So right here is where he's back. He's on the other side, and I'm basically in front of the car, and he's backing me up onto the sidewalk. I'm on the sidewalk at that point. And you got this line right here. You got this line right here. That's the bike lane. This line right here, all the way up to the sidewalk, is the parking lane. Okay? So I'm walking, and he's walking back because I complied with his order of getting out the street. So he's walking back. He's actually telling them to pull off. He tried to lie. Let me tell you something, right? Let me take it right here real quick. As you can see, this blinker just turns on. That blinker turns on. Well, correction. Maybe it was already on, but that was their argument from this viewpoint of Officer Woods, the assisting arresting officer, body cam. Actually, everything, this is halfway through right now. This video is halfway through. The incident, I'm sorry, not the video. The incident is halfway through. So when I was originally on the street, there was no turn signal on. But they tried to argue that she had her turn signal on trying to pull out. Another reason why I was causing a hazardous condition in the roadway. But it wasn't true. And it also, my video also solidified that it wasn't true because when I engaged the young woman, she was not in fear. I didn't threaten her in any way. And actually, she was willing to engage with me because she responded to my question, which was before I pulled up, was he acting as nice as he was before I pulled up? And she said no. And I said, yeah, well, I know this guy. He's an asshole. And that's when he approached me and told me to get out the street. So they tried to say because her turn signal was on, she was trying to pull out. That was another reason why I was causing a hazardous condition in the roadway, which comes under disorderly. But that didn't fly. So now Woods sees that I got back on the sidewalk. He sees no threat. Why do I say that? Because he turns back around and goes back to his car. So Woods sees no threat. But Woods comes back because he see that Officer Roby is engaging me. And without having a mind of his own, he just does what Roby does.
I got off the street. I'm not resisting. I got off the street.
So the first thing Roby says, don't resist the arrest. Don't resist the arrest. Because it sounds good on the camera. It sounds good. Shout out to Daniel Garcia, my man. Daniel Garcia. Next thing, Daniel Garcia is going after that, you know what? And we could do some shows on that too, but we're not going to jump too far ahead. But Daniel know what I'm talking about. Shout out to Daniel Garcia. First thing that Roby says is that let me put some music on, man. It's dead in this joint. It's very quiet. It'll flow a little better with the music. It's quiet in this joint. There we go. All right. So the first thing that Roby says, he says, don't resist, because it sounds good on the body cam. You feel what I'm saying? They like to say that. Look, I'm telling you not to resist. I said it 4 times. And I'm still not able to get him, in cuffs. See, that's the game plan. That's the whole way to start off their argument. Well, he resisted. I told him to put his hands behind his back. But I did nothing wrong. Put my hands behind my back for doing nothing wrong because I'm recording. This is protected by the First Amendment under the Constitution. So now Woods is moving on in because he doesn't have a mind of his own to think, hey, this guy didn't do anything. And he doesn't even question it.
Put your hand behind your back. I've got out your hand behind your back. What are you locking me up for? What are you locking me up for? I told you to step out of the street. What are you locking me up for? I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything. Behind your back. I'm not doing behind your back. Put them behind your back. Stop resisting. Stop resisting. What y'all locking me up for? What you spray me with, bro? What you spray me with? Stop resisting. What are you locking? Bro, what you spray me with? What did you spray me with, bro? Yes, you did. Bro, I didn't even do anything. What are you locking me up for? What's the charge?
And by the way, this was the last video that was played to the jury. This was very telling.
What's the charge?
I already told you.
What's the charge?
I already told
What's the charge? Can I get my camera off the ground, please? Can I get my phone off the ground?
It'll come with the property.
Can I get my phone off the ground, please? I got your phone. Huh? Can you give me my phone, please? Can you give me my phone? You're under arrest, too. You better stop. Can you give me my phone? I'm asking for my phone. Yeah. Give me my phone, bro.
Yep.
Can you give me my phone, please? Can you please give me my phone? Can you give me? It's my property. It's my property, bro. Yo, help me! Help me! Help me! Sit down in the car. Sit down. Help me! Get your head out of the car. Help me! Help! Help!
So he called a supervisor because he made a use of force. So he calls the supervisor.
Sorry about that. It's okay. I'm gonna power down. Or are you staying up?
Yeah.
Tap 111's here.
Woods wanted to power down. He asked Roby, was he going to power down or if he was going to keep his camera on? Roby said he going to keep his camera on, so Woods stayed on. That's questionable. Why would he want to power down after it was a use of force incident?
Okay.
I had a traffic stop. I had to lock up John, the video guy.
We're both.
So he says, that's the supervisor right there. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Do you know the state win? Let me just say the state win has opened up a lot of things, okay? And like I said, I don't like to give out information prematurely, but when I say it opened up a lot of things, it's opened up a lot of things. State wins are very powerful. Let me just add that in. State wins are very powerful. But he explains to his supervisor that he had to lock John up, the video guy. The video guy. You mean the one who records and exercises his rights under the First Amendment? Yeah, that guy.
John, the video guy.
We're both live, Sarge.
And Woods notifies the sergeant that we're both live. That means, I'm gonna tell you what that means. That means, Sarge, we're not saying nothing we're not supposed to say, and don't you ask no questions on these cameras that's gonna put us in a bad position.
Then he started resisting.
Oh shit!
I was cuffing him and I had the spray in my hand and it went off. Sprayed me in my eye.
Oh no problem. Okay, I was wondering like
He was cuffing me. He had the spray in his hands and it went off. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It's not Boston PD's policy or customs to have spray in their hand while arresting a suspect. And especially, it's not custom to have spray on the hand while arresting somebody who didn't commit a crime. Okay? His intent was shown from the door. He showed his intent from the door. And guess what? He messed up because he pulled it out and the dummy didn't even know how to spray it right. It reversed in his face. Wham! It hit the side of my face a little bit because my shit was burning all the way from the eye to the ear. It was burning. But he caught the most of it because you see, he's still feeling it.
yes, I didn't know what I was.
Yeah.
Spray. Are you seeing the back of the car?
Yes, he's in this car.
Is he still recording here? Is this turned off, or does he still have it with him?
This is still his back.
All right, you guys did some mask. All right, so you have his phone there? All right.
No, he has his phone. It's in the back.
His butt? All right. All right, you want to walk you down now? You can see it? Huh? You want to come right here? You want to move? No, go back. You sure?
All right, I guess we can stop it right there. It's over with for that part right there. But I'm going to briefly wrap this state win review up. What I want to say to that is that there was a lot of shady stuff going on within this court process. First of all, for some reason, the three witnesses actually that was on the witness list, which is this guy right here, the supervisor, because he was on scene. He wasn't there. Okay. The driver, the young lady, she wasn't there. And let me just put it out there. This young lady is listening to this. But this is no harm, nothing against you. I was fighting for a chunk of my life, okay? They was trying to take away a lot from me, all right? Most closely, my daughter. And I didn't commit a crime. So, the pressure that you may have felt from these courts, it wasn't because of me trying to be harmful in any way to you. It's the tyranny and corruption of the system, okay? Some things had to be done, and I was just fighting for my life, All right. But as I continue, she wasn't there. She showed up. They said she was crying. They said she was going through, periods of stressful periods, and she couldn't remember what happened. And without my permission, they let her go. Okay? There were all kinds of, in my opinion, grounds for appeal if it would have went south. Officer Woods, he didn't show. 3 witnesses, ladies and gentlemen, didn't show. Officer Woods, this body cam footage you're looking at right here on the right side, that's Officer Woods' body cam. That's his body cam right there. He didn't show up. He actually called the day before and said he would be taking off and would be out of state. I'm like, whoa, the fix is in. Shout out James Williams. I was like, the fix is in. So then we get to picking jewelry. That was the most pleasing process that I went throughout the whole, the jury trial situation. Was picking the jewelry. That was nice, okay? I felt as though I grabbed a good bunch. That's how I feel. I was relying on them to do the right thing, and I felt as though they would do the right thing. Unfortunately, it didn't come to them deciding. Well, not unfortunately. Fortunately, it did come to them deciding. It came to the judge deciding the matter. But we went through the jury process, picking the jury, and of course, the case starts right away. Prosecution comes with their opening statements. They're making the arguments that I was causing a hazardous condition in the roadway. I wasn't compliant to the officer telling me to get out the street. I was not listening to the officer by not putting my hands behind my back, and I assaulted the officer. She gave it to him straight and hard. Not only that, they used my evidence, everything, and tried to flip it. Body cam footage, pictures, my body, my footage, my YouTube footage, the arrest, the whole arrest footage that I recorded. They used that and tried to flip it on me. So they got a chance to play it first. And they gave the jury a different perspective of what happened. Shout out Letty Frazier. They gave the jury a different perspective, and the jury was sitting there with their necks twisted to the side like, right? Then my public defender, she goes up and she says, "It's no crime." That's how she starts off. It's no crime. How many of us stand in the street and talk to somebody in a car? She broke it down that what I was doing, I was being peaceful. I was being courteous because I asked the officer, was he done with his stop? And I never did anything that rose to the level of crime. I was actually doing something that was protected under the First Amendment. RIMC, does the Resistance have a video on what got him started on this? No, I don't, actually. Hey, I'm going to be honest with you, to actually get me out there on the street holding a camera was, watching one of their videos. Now, there's a history behind my problem with the government authority. It is that, but, that's what sparked me to get out there was, wow, we got people out here doing this. I could do this. I could do it, and I could do it good. I could do it real good. That's what I thought. I always think highly of myself. Maybe, it's not always the best thing to do every time, but I try to look that way, thinking highly of myself. So I just got out there and did it. But, so the case started off right away. Prosecution come with their opening statements. They say what they say, try to flip everything on me. Then, my public defender goes up there and says that what I'm doing is protected under the First Amendment. I committed no crime. I did nothing that rose to the level of a crime. What happened is that I didn't comply with what the officer said. And there's no law that says you have to comply with with everything an officer says. You don't have to comply. But you have to comply with a lawful command. Okay? So he told me to step out the street. If I don't get out the street, I'm going to get locked up. I wasn't threatening towards him. He physically backed me up, and I had a problem with that. So I asked him for his name and badge, step off the curb. They tried to use that as saying I was causing another hazardous condition in the roadway. And that's what made him approach me. And I didn't listen to him when he approached me. When he said, put my hands behind my back, I actually backed away. And he tried to say that I assaulted him by applying 5 pounds of pressure with my fingernail on his hand, which caused a little bit wider than a paper cut. They had pictures. They held on to the pictures for 30 months, ladies and gentlemen. They would not produce the pictures, and they finally had pictures. And when we seen the cut, I said, show the jury that shit. Go ahead and show the jury that shit. My lawyer said the same thing. We're going to show the jury this. When we seen that cut, we said, show the jury. And they looked at it, and they passed it right on over as if it was a memo from their job. I'm telling you. So, day one was all of the prosecution arguing to what happened that night on April 25th. And it was a whole bunch of lies. I got a little something jotted down, but it wasn't like Rhode Island, ladies and gentlemen. I almost had a half a book of notes on Rhode Island, which I still haven't presented to you guys yet because the audio of that recording is shitty. I don't know. I've been trying to figure out how to get that volume up, but it's not going to be on equal level because what it is that, the microphone wasn't on everybody's, in everybody's radar. Wasn't able to pick up every voice. Some voices are louder than others. So if I turn it up, the voices that's loud is going to be like boom, boom in your ear. And the voices low, it's just going to be barely heard. You can't even hardly hear it in the original recording, but I digress. That's Rhode Island, Providence, Rhode Island, state wind. I haven't forgot about that. And I hope you guys haven't forgot about it. But first is first. I'm here in Boston. We're going to take on and move on with the Roby situation. So, prosecution arguments. Before the prosecution arguments, the judge gives juries strict instructions on not to share any information about the case to anyone, not to talk to anyone about it, not to talk to each other about it. It ran down strict instructions. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all have been on the jury box. I never have been in the jury box, but pretty much know how it goes. Opening statements was by Nicole Gabertino, DA prosecuting attorney. She starts off lying. She starts off telling a whole bunch of lies. And then my lawyer goes up and she does a good job. She could have did more. And I'm just going to say this now for the whole case. She could have did more, but what she did was good and it was fair. Okay? It was good. It was fair. I admit it, I didn't have any trust in her from the first day because there was a lot of stuff that happened. I asked her to submit in a bill of particulars and she didn't. And those who know about bill of particulars, they don't want to answer those questions. What else? I had a problem with the witnesses. She calls me and says, hey, I got the girl here. We don't need her around for anything, right? They hoping that I'm going to plead out. All the way up until the day of trial, they hoping that I was going to plead. I don't plead out. They wanted me to plead out 25 hours community service and it would be dismissed. No. Why? So Roby could go out there and do that to another person? Like I'm pretty sure he's done in the past? That's right. Perfect sense. Smoking loud. Sounds like a good idea. But so Roby could go out there and do that to another person? No, that's crazy. I'm pretty sure he's done it to. Man, listen, hold on. Let me tell you this. Roby been on the force for 28 years. What is that? Hold on. 28 years. Never rose further than a patrolman. Wow. Somebody said, fuck their ambitions. I'm just going to hard knock it for the whole career. That's what he said. Wow. 28 years of patrolman. Oh, best believe this some slimy shit was going down within those 28 years. Best believe that. But another shocking thing is, I want to give y'all all the, because it's the win. It's a state win. Okay, I have the recording coming and the transcripts and all that. I'm gonna put that out, but I'm not gonna go through. I've not spent enough time talking about the state win already. I know y'all want to hear about the federal court situation and the lawsuit. We're gonna get into that because I got a lot to read on that. But I'm not gonna give y'all everything. I'd rather y'all hear it. So y'all might have to wait maybe a month, maybe two. You know how they play. But he was 28 years on the police force, 28 years as a patrolman, okay? Guess what? Before he arrested me, he had worked 7 3/4 hours. 7 3/4 hours he had worked prior to arresting me. He was working on his second shift. He was like about maybe a half hour, 40 minutes into his second shift when he arrested me. I thought that was wow. Okay? I was like, oh, okay. That's what they do? All right. You in your second shift locking people up for no reason. That tells everything. That tells everything. But continuing on. Whole day, the first day, the prosecution took up all the time. The second day is when we started in the morning. We stated our little case on the situation, and we played one video because they already seen the videos the first day. They played Scott Roby's video and they played my video, and y'all all seen all these videos. But they played my video and they played Scott Roby's video. So it wasn't no need for us to go over that. This is how my public defender played it. She said the video was telling we just gonna keep it on the video. That's all we're gonna keep it on, the video and the charges. That's all she was concerned about beating. And that's why I say she did a good job, because she stayed focused on two things: the video and the charges. The video part of that was half done because the prosecution took care of the first two videos. We only needed to play one video, which is this video right here that y'all watching. This video right here. This video right here, I'm gonna put it on mute, but this was the most telling video that showed that I wasn't disorderly, I wasn't resisting arrest, and I didn't assault him. So that's all we had to play on the second day. We made our little argument. The judge said, all right, take the jury in the back. The most sweetest thing that my public defender did was already had a set of motions up for all three charges to be thrown out, dismissed for no claim of crime. There was no basis of crime. And he decided to decide on it. And he gave the prosecution a chance to explain why I was disorderly, why I was resisting arrest, and how I committed assault and battery. And it didn't work for him. He was not moved while he was sitting in that seat as she was explaining it. He said, well, let's watch the video. And he said, I see differently. And he decided on each one of those charges and dismissed him. Smooth out of that courtroom. And that's what's going to bring us into this federal case. Shout outs to everybody in the chat, man. We about to move on to the next segment. United States District Court for the District of Massachusetts. It's the resistance.
I'm just a picture in the frame. Pause. I don't control. I paint word pictures on the canvas of life.
I'm everywhere in public.
Yeah. Like, share, subscribe. That's what we've been waiting for right here. Get into this information right here. Here we go. Child's right to freedom, girl, perfect sense, free to stay. Vanetta Williams, Mark Wunderlich, Jenny James. I got it right that time. Letty Frazier, RIMC. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. We about to get into the federal lawsuit of this situation right here, you know? Because, at this time, there's some things that needs to be addressed, which is the civil rights violations. Okay. A lot of people forget about that. They're just so happy to walk out the courtroom because they beat the case. They ain't beat the case. Your life was in their face and they was about to do you nasty. You done went through all this pre-trial detainment, all this misery, all this worrying, all this pain, all this switching back and forth, going through changes. Yeah, y'all know how it is. Y'all know how it is. And all you doing is walking out the courtroom, not guilty? Hell no, I'd be damned. Not me. Not the resistance. John McCullough plaintiff, pro se. Case number 1:2022 CV10177. This is all public record. Versus the city of Boston, Massachusetts, state of Massachusetts. Scott Roby, personal capacity. Doles 1 to 50. I'll explain that later. Personal capacities. These are the defendants, ladies and gentlemen. This is the complaint right here. Plaintiff John L. McCullough III sues defendant Scott Roby and for money damages and says jurisdiction. This court has subject matter jurisdiction of the 28 U.S.C. 1331 and 1343 over the federal complaints concerning violations of the 4th and 14th Amendment and 42 U.S.C. 1985. This court also has supplemental jurisdiction of the 28 U.S.C. 1367 over the related claims under state law. Venue is proper in this judicial district under 28 U.S.C. 1391 because the events giving rise to this civil action occurred in this judicial district. At all times material to this lawsuit, John L. McCullough III was a resident of Boston, Massachusetts. At all times material to this lawsuit, Scott Roby and Does 1 to 50 were residents of Boston, Massachusetts. All acts necessary of precedent to the bringing of this lawsuit occurred or accrued in Boston, Massachusetts. This court has jurisdiction. Now let's get into the general allegations. I wrote this myself. I'm pro se, ladies and gentlemen. Just like in the lyrics, I went from no say to pro se. I went from not testifying to pro se officially because I already put this in February. This was submitted in February. All right. All parties were served over the summer. Assigned to a U.S. District Court judge. This is in the flow. This ain't no paperwork about to be submitted. This has been submitted since February. Okay? General allegations. On the 25th of April 2020, plaintiff was walking on Blue Hill Avenue in Boston, Massachusetts, in Mattapan section of the city on the sidewalk while recording a traffic stop with a cell phone. When plaintiff reached the corner of the sidewalk at Blue Hill and Ansel Street, plaintiff stopped walking and continued to record the traffic stop. We on number 7. Plaintiff continued recording as the defendant, who was conducting the traffic stop, walked away from the vehicle after handling the driver bag documents. Plaintiff asked the defendant to confirm if the defendant had concluded the traffic stop. Defendant didn't respond to plaintiff's question. Okay? Number 8. When defendant walked away from the traffic stop and got into the police-issued vehicle, plaintiff walked to the driver's side of the vehicle that had been stopped and proceeded to ask the driver a question. Number 9. As plaintiff was receiving a response from the driver, defendant walked up to the plaintiff and said, "Step out of the street." Plaintiff responded with, "I'm not obstructing traffic." Defendant told plaintiff to step out of the street 2 more times before saying, "If you don't step out of the street, I'm going to lock you up." Number 10, defendant continued to walk up on plaintiff, giving plaintiff no choice to walk backwards until plaintiff reached the sidewalk. Defendant turned away and began walking to his police-issued vehicle. The driver that was stopped by the defendant drove away. Number 11, plaintiff began walking on the sidewalk in the same direction that defendant was walking while asking for defendant's name and badge. Defendant was in the street on the driver's side of his police-issued vehicle. Plaintiff continued to ask for name and badge as plaintiff walked into the parking lane of the street in the direction of the defendant's passenger side of the police-issued vehicle. Defendant number 12. Defendant turned around and proceeded to walk around the front of defendant's police-issued vehicle and headed in the direction of the plaintiff. Number 13. Defendant stated to plaintiff to step out of the street, following with, "I am not going to tell you again." Defendant walked up to plaintiff, causing physical contact, saying, "Let me see your hands," as defendant retrieved handcuffs and grabbed plaintiff's wrist. Number 14. Defendant began taking control of plaintiff's body by pulling on plaintiff's left arm as plaintiff continued to record with cell phone, which was in plaintiff's right hand. Defendant continued to pull on plaintiff's right arm, causing severe pain as defendant poked the thumb into defendant's left wrist while saying, "Put your hands behind your back." Okay? He poked his thumb into defendant's left wrist. Pressure compliance, pressure or pressure compliance, they call it. That's what I'm referring to. Number 15, defendant began to gain more bodily control of plaintiff by pushing plaintiff against a metal closed donation container. As plaintiff stated, "I got off the street," and as plaintiff asked, "What are you locking me up for?" Defendant continued to push plaintiff against the metal closed donation container, causing severe pain in the back area. Plaintiff stated, "I'm not doing anything," while defendant told plaintiff to put your hands behind your back and stop resisting. Number 16, defendant began to pin plaintiff against the metal closed donation container while receiving assistance by doe number 1, who also assisted defendant with traffic stop. Defendant and doe number 1 grabbed each arm of the plaintiff as defendant and doe number 1 poked their thumb into plaintiff's wrist, causing severe pain. 17, defendant and doe number 1 applied handcuffs to the plaintiff's wrist as plaintiff's left side of face began to burn and cause intense severe pain. Plaintiff asked defendant, "What you spray me with?" Which defendant replied, "I didn't spray you with nothing." As plaintiff was held by each arm while receiving intense and severe pain to left side of plaintiff's face, plaintiff lost control of cell phone and released the cell phone to the ground. Number 18, as plaintiff's left side of face continued to burn, plaintiff asked defendant what plaintiff was being charged with, which defendant responded with, "I already told you." Plaintiff also requested to get phone from the ground for fear of the recording being destroyed. Defendant responded with, "You're under arrest," as defendant took plaintiff to defendant's police-issued vehicle. Defendant placed plaintiff in the back of the police-issued vehicle as plaintiff screamed in fear, "Help me, help me." After defendant secured plaintiff in police-issued vehicle, defendant remained outside of the police-issued vehicle. While plaintiff waited in the back seat of the defendant's police-issued vehicle, Patrol Supervisor Doe 2 arrived at the scene. Defendant and Patrol Supervisor Doe 2 spoke briefly before defendant got into police-issued vehicle to transfer plaintiff to B3 police station, and that's located in Mattapan. Number 20. While plaintiff was being driven to B3 police station by defendant, plaintiff left side of face continued to burn. Plaintiff asked, "What's the charge?" In which defendant responded with, "I already told you, and it's on your camera." When defendant arrived at B3 police station, defendant proceeded to retrieve plaintiff from the back seat by pulling forcefully at the handcuffs that were on plaintiff's wrist, which caused severe pain, trauma, and mental anguish. Plaintiff asked defendant, "Why are you grabbing me like that?" As defendant continued to pull and tighten on handcuffs. After defendant took plaintiff out of the vehicle, plaintiff began to scream, "Help me, help me. He's trying to kill me," for fear of being physically harmed when taken into B3 police station. Plaintiff then yelled, "He's taking my property from me," and hoped that it would deter the defendant from destroying the cell cam footage. 21. As defendant pushed plaintiff closer towards the garage door, the reception area of the B3 police station, defendant placed plaintiff's hood of jacket over plaintiff's head. Defendant bent plaintiff over, and defendant rammed plaintiff's head into a hard surface as defendant yelled, "Stop spitting." Plaintiff felt severe pain on head and was in extreme fear once plaintiff's vision was obstructed with hood of jacket caused by defendant. Let's just make it clear, ladies and gentlemen. I, the resistance, am the plaintiff. Officer Scott Roby is the defendant. Number 22. As plaintiff was pulled into the reception area by defendant and Doe number 3, who assisted with the arrest, plaintiff's left side of face continued to burn. Plaintiff's vision continued to be obstructed with plaintiff's hood of jacket caused by defendant as plaintiff was drugged into a caged area inside B3 police station. Plaintiff asks, "Why are y'all doing this to me? Why are y'all doing this to me?" 23. Once plaintiff was in caged area, plaintiff was slammed to the ground while plaintiff's vision was still obstructed by hood of jacket, which was caused by the defendant and causing plaintiff extreme pain, fear, and trauma. Plaintiff's left side of face continued to burn. Plaintiff began to cry out in pain and pled with the defendant and Doe's to stop hurting plaintiff, as plaintiff heard defendant and Doe's talking around him. 24. Plaintiff's vision continued to be obstructed with hood of jacket, which was caused by defendant. Plaintiff was pinned to the ground in the cage area by defendant and Doe's. Plaintiff felt physical contact of multiple hands on plaintiff's body used to restrain plaintiff, which was initiated by defender and Doe's. Plaintiff screamed out that he could not breathe. Extreme sharp pressure was applied to plaintiff's neck, causing trauma, fear, pain, and lack of oxygen. 25. After plaintiff was released from being pinned to the ground, defendants and Doe's took plaintiff to another area of the B3 police station. Medical assistance arrived for plaintiff's burn on left side of face as plaintiff was fingerprinted and processed by Doe number 4 as Doe number 5 stood beside plaintiff. After Doe number 4 processed plaintiff, Doe number 5 took plaintiff to a jail cell, where plaintiff remained in jail cell for a total of 34 hours. Plaintiff was released on a $400 cash bail and received an additional condition of release to stay away from B3 police station. Plaintiff received personal property, including cell phone, which was destroyed. However, the SD card was located inside a phone, was not damaged, preserving the footage of the arrest. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We're going to take a break. The next thing we're going into is the causes of action. But while we take that break, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a video. I'm going to play the video of the arrest. I guess it's a good time for y'all to grab something to drink and some popcorn, run to the laboratory real quick. But I'm going to play the Scott Roby video. Okay, I'm going to take a break. I'm not going to play the whole video. I'll be back before it's over with. But we're going to get into the causes of action. Causes of action is stating the claim of the crime that was committed on either plaintiff, John McCullough, by the defendant, Scott Roby. It's the resistance. It's the resistance.
Dents.
One second, ladies and gentlemen.
Cited for is the mafia. She's subject to arrest right now. No. You can drive, but she has to be in the front seat. You guys need to put your seatbelts on. Your license. Here's your license. When you have a learner's permit, the person that has a license is supposed to be beside you, right? And your permit is no good after 1 a.m. What's going on with your license? Did you just get your license?
Did I just get it? She was teaching me how to drive, but my mom was down the street, so that's where we were going. She has her license.
You're supposed to be in the front seat.
I was trying to tell you that I was going to turn, but we changed our mind, so that's why I ended up doing it.
And you guys, nobody has the seatbelt on. You have to stay in the front. I understand, and that's why I'm explaining it to you. Okay, listen, you guys got to switch up. $105. She's subject to arrest right now. No. You can drive, but she has to be in the front seat. All right. It would have been $305. All right, I gave you a warning. And that would have went on your license. Okay? That would have went on your license for the citation. And you guys need to put your seatbelts on.
Good.
Step out to the street. That is your license. Here's the registration. Here's your license. All right. When you have a learner's permit, the person that has a license is supposed to be beside you. All right. And your permit is no good after 1 a.m. You understand that you can't drive after 1 a.m. What you're cited for is a marked lane violation because you were in the right-hand lane and you going left. And that lane is a bike lane. It's not supposed to be driving. See right here? See how they have it marked off?
Yeah, but where I was trying to tell you that I was going to turn, but we changed our mind, so that's why I ended up going in front of you.
I know, but you still can't drive. You can't turn from that lane. You have to stay in the lane. I understand, and that's why I'm explaining it to you. Okay, listen, there would have been $105 for the Mark Lane. Your speed was 40 and a 25. The whole city is 25 miles an hour. Okay? I gave you a warning for that as well. All right? It would have been $305. All right? I gave you a warning.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay. And that would have went on your license. Okay? That would have went on your license for the citation.
Can you give me my phone, please? Give me my phone.
Yeah.
Give me my phone.
Fine enough. Step out of the street. Step out of the street. Step out of the street. Step out of the street, or I'm gonna lock you up. Step out of the street.
See the tyranny, y'all? See the tyranny? Name the badge. Name the badge.
Go ahead. Yes.
Chapter 48, section 98D. Name the badge.
Step out of the street. Listen, I'm not gonna tell you again. All right? Let me see your hands.
For what? I got out the street. I got out the street. I got out the street. I'm not resisting. I got out the street. I got out
Put your hand behind your back.
I got out
Put your hands behind your back.
What are you locking me up for?
Put your hands
What are
behind
you
your back.
locking me
I
up
already
for?
told you to step out of the
What are you locking me up for? I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything.
behind your back.
I'm not doing anything.
Put your hands behind your back. I'm not gonna fucking play this game.
Stop resisting.
What y'all locking me up for? What you
I already told you.
bro? What you
already told you.
spray me with it? Bro, what you spray me with? What did you spray me with, bro?
I didn't spray you with nothing.
Yes, you did. Bro, I didn't even do anything. What are you locking me up for? What's the
I already
charge?
told you.
What's the charge?
I already told you.
What's the charge?
I already told you.
Can I get my camera off the ground, please? Can I get my
It'll come
phone
with
off
your
the
property.
ground?
It'll come with
Can I
your
pick up?
property.
Can I get my phone off the ground, please?
I got your phone.
Huh? Can you give me my phone, please? Can you give me my
You're
phone?
under arrest too. You better
Can you
stop.
give me my phone? I'm asking for my phone.
Yeah.
Give me my phone, bro.
The door's open.
Can you give me my phone, please? Can you please give me my phone? Can you give me? It's my property. It's my property, bro.
I get.
All right, so I'm back from my brief break. Sorry about that. I had both of the videos playing at the same time. I know the audio was off, but y'all pretty much, I know a lot of y'all already seen the video. Now we're going to get into the causes of action. And in the future, I will be giving a video on how to file a civil lawsuit that will be in the makings very shortly. I can't tell y'all when, but I will be giving y'all a personal experience of how I filed a civil lawsuit. So we're going to get back into the causes of action, and the causes of action states the claim of the crime that was committed by Scott Rowe. Okay, and like I said, this is a state win, so state win is, a definite backing and support for a civil rights claim. Okay, and I would like to give y'all more information, but I'm gonna just stick with Scott Roby for now, if you know what I mean. All right, so causes of action. First cause of action: violation of 4th and 14th Amendments, false arrest pursuant to 42 U.S.C. 1983. 26. Plaintiff realleges and restates the foregoing jurisdictional allegations and general factual allegations. 27. At all relevant times, defendant and those were employed by the city of Boston, Massachusetts, and acted under color of law within the meaning of 42 U.S.C. Section 1983. 28. The defendant and those arrested plaintiff. The defendants did not have probable cause to arrest plaintiffs. 29. By falsely arresting plaintiff, defendant and those deprived plaintiff of his clearly established rights under the 4th and 14th Amendment to be free from illegal seizure. Number 30. As a direct and proximate cause of such acts, defendant and those deprive plaintiff of his Fourth Amendment rights in violation of 42 U.S.C. Section 1983. Wherefore, plaintiff demands judgment for money damages against defendants together with such other and further relief as the court may deem reasonable and just under the circumstances. So I've already asked for a jury trial in federal court. So the second cause of action, violation of Massachusetts Civil Rights Act, false arrest. This is pretty much a repeat of the first, but it's under the Massachusetts Civil Rights Act. And like I said, it's definitely a repeat. Plaintiff, it always starts off with, under each cause of action, always starts off with plaintiff realleges and restates the foregoing jurisdictional allegations and general factual allegations. Plaintiff was falsely arrested, which acted as a threat, intimidation, or coercion, and forced him to give up his fundamental rights to be free of unreasonable seizure. 33, by the acts and omissions described above, defendant in those number 2 and number 3 deprived plaintiff, I'm speaking of the assisting arresting officer and the supervisor, deprived plaintiff of his clearly established rights to be free of unreasonable seizure as guaranteed in the federal and state law in violation of the Massachusetts Civil Rights Act. Wherefore, plaintiff demands judgment for money damages against defendants together with such other and further relief as the court may deem reasonable and just under the circumstances. Third cause of action, violation of 4th and 14th Amendments, excessive force pursuant to 42 U.S.C. 1983. Once again, I reallege and restate the foregoing jurisdictional allegations and general factual allegations. At 35, at all relevant times, defendant and those were employed by the city of Boston, Massachusetts, and acted under the color of law within the meaning of 42 U.S.C. 1983.127 in detaining plaintiff, defendant, and does jointly in concert use excessive and unreasonable force against him. By using excessive and unreasonable force against plaintiff, defendant and those deprive plaintiff of his clearly established rights under the 4th and 14th Amendments to be free from excessive force and unreasonable force. As a result of the excessive and unreasonable force that defendant and those use, plaintiff suffered damages. Wherefore, plaintiff demands judgment for money damages against defendants together with such other and further relief as the court may deem reasonable and just under the circumstances. Fourth cause of action, violation of Massachusetts Civil Rights Act, excessive force. That's a repeat. Fifth cause of action, assault and battery. I reallege and restate the foregoing jurisdictional allegations. By using excessive and unjustified force against plaintiff, defendant, and those jointly and in concert, intentionally and without justification or excuse, cause plaintiff to suffer physical injuries. As a result, 43, as a result of defendant and those unjustified physical battery of plaintiff, he suffered damages. And then I got the wherefore clause again. At the end, it's the realleging and restating of foregoing jurisdictional allegations, and ending is the wherefore clause. That's each cause of action. You should have that. Sixth cause of action, violation of, in my opinion, you should have that as an opening and close in your causes of action. Sixth cause of action is violation of 4th and 14th Amendments, unreasonable search pursuant to 42 U.S.C. 1983. Plaintiff realleges and restates the foregoing jurisdictional allegations. 45, at all relevant times, defendant and those were employed by the city of Boston. And that's defendant in doe number 1, that's 46. Defendant in doe number 1 deprived plaintiff of his right to be free from illegal search without any probable cause of criminality or reasonable suspicion that plaintiff was armed and dangerous by searching his person. 47, defendant in those deprived plaintiff of his rights to be free from illegal search by searching his person and confiscating his property. 48, as a direct and proximate cause of such acts, Defendant Doe number 2 deprived plaintiff of his 4th and 14th Amendment rights in violation of 42 U.S.C. 1983. Wherefore, plaintiff demands judgment for money damages against defendants together with such other and further relief as the court may deem reasonable and just under the circumstances. 7th cause of action is violation of Massachusetts Civil Rights Act, equal protection. 49. Plaintiff realleges and restates the foregoing jurisdictional allegations and general factual allegations. Number 50. Plaintiff was unlawfully arrested without justification. 51. Defendant Doe number 3, speaking of the supervisor, therefore coerced and intimidated plaintiff and deprived him of his right to equal protection under the laws. 52. By the acts and omissions described above, Doe number 3 violated plaintiff's right to equal protection under the laws of violation of the Massachusetts Civil Rights Act. And then I got the wherefore clause. 8th cause of action, violation of 42 U.S.C. 1983 civil rights conspiracy pursuant to 42 U.S.C. 1983. Number 53, plaintiff realleges and restates the foregoing jurisdictional allegations and general factual allegations. 54, at all relevant times, defendant and those were employed by the city of Boston, Massachusetts, and acted under color of state law within the meaning of 42 U.S.C. 1983. 55. Defendant and those acted in concert to conspire to falsely arrest and use excessive force against plaintiff, inflicting a wrong against him. 56. Defendant and those took over acts to carry out their conspiracy by arresting plaintiff without probable cause and treating him roughly, including by handcuffing him and deploying OC spray. 57. Defendant's accounts of defendant's own written narrative of defendant's police report demonstrates that the defendant was attempting to cover up the unlawful arrest. 58. Defendant and those fixation on proving plaintiff's non-existent criminality, despite all evidence to the contrary, further demonstrates the existence of the conspiracy. 59. As a direct and proximate cause of such acts, defendants and those violated 42 U.S.C. 1983 by conspiring to harm plaintiffs. And it ends with the wherefore clause. Next is the 9th cause of action, violation of 1985 civil rights conspiracy. Number 60, plaintiff realleges and restates. Number 61, defendant and those conspiring to deprive plaintiff of his equal protection of the laws by falsely arresting him and using excessive force against him. Defendant and those detained, falsely arrested, and unjustly treated plaintiff in the manner in which they did, including by acting with force against him and falsely arresting him. 63. The history of bias-based policing in Boston, Massachusetts supports the claim that the officers acted intentionally and with bias against plaintiffs. We all know the history of Boston, Massachusetts. 64. As a direct and proximate cause of such acts, defendants and those violated 42 U.S.C. 1985. And it ends with the wherefore clause. 10th cause of action, violation of 42 U.S.C. 1983 municipal liability. Remember this one, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to speak on this one later. 65. Plaintiff realleges and restates the foregoing. Let me start all over. 10th cause of action, violation of 42 U.S.C. 1983 municipal liability. This is the second party. This concerns the second party, which is the city of Boston. 66. At all relevant times, defendant and those served as employees of defendants, city of Boston, Massachusetts, and they acted in accordance with a policy or custom of defendant, city of Boston, Massachusetts. 67. Despite the need for adequate training for police officers responding to 911 calls about alleged crimes and process, defendant city of Boston, Massachusetts has maintained and continues to maintain a policy of providing inadequate training for police officers. 68. At all relevant times, defendant, City of Boston, Massachusetts, knew or should have known that there was a need for such training. The training currently provided by defendant, City of Boston, Massachusetts, is inadequate and discriminatory because it results in bias-based policing, civil rights violations, and excessive use of force. Number 70, defendant, City of Boston, Massachusetts policy of providing inadequate and discriminatory training for police officers approximately caused the harms to plaintiff in violation of 42 U.S.C. 1983, and that's the end of it is the wherefore clause. And 11th cause of action is supervisory liability concerning the supervisor who didn't question the arrest. And like I said, it's a state win. So everybody gets held liable because everybody acted in concert. 71, plaintiff realleges and restates the foregoing matters. By unlawfully seizing plaintiff, that's number 72, by unlawfully seizing plaintiff, using excessive force against plaintiff, committing equal protection violations against plaintiff, defendant and those violated plaintiff's constitutional rights. Number 73, at all relevant times, bill number 3, as the patrol supervisor, supervised defendant and those. 74, defendant and defendant patrol supervisor, bill number 3, deliberate indifference and negligent failure to provide adequate training to and supervision of their employees was a direct and proximate cause of the violation of plaintiff's rights. 75, as a result of defendant and defendant patrol supervisor, bill number 3, deliberate indifference, plaintiff suffered substantial damages. And that's it. That's the end of it right there. This was already submitted, my signature. This was the original draft. There's little things that's been included that you haven't seen. Under my name would be pro se, jury demand, plaintiff demands jury trial on all counts so triable. Okay, now let's go back to the 10th cause of action, municipal liability. So since this has been in effect, ladies and gentlemen, the city has responded to this complaint, and they submitted a dismissal, request for dismissal for failure to state a claim on my part. So they weaseled themselves out because they said that they don't have a policy and custom that policy in place that exhibits or teaches the officers of Boston to act in the manner that Scott Roby did. So they weaseled themselves out, but it's not over. I can always appeal. Okay, so at this point, we're waiting on a response from the city attorney who's representing Scott Roby. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me, man. I hope that's some information for y'all. I hope it was interesting. Y'all hung in there with me, and I know it was a long live, but I wanted to get that out to y'all. So, like I said, federal complaints already in. It's been in. I got the state win. Okay, that's the victory of all victories. I got this because they was trying to cook me. They was trying to cook me. Okay, I know Nicole Gabatino would have been asking for the judge and the jury to give me a lot of time. So we got this is half the battle right here. Half my win is already on the table. Now I just gotta do some more work, and I've already done 30% of that already. So I did about 20%. So we at 70%. We moving forward strong at 70%. We the people. Shout outs to y'all. I appreciate y'all, man. Once again, right to freedom, girl. Perfect sense is free to stay. I appreciate y'all. Karen M. Shout outs to Karen M. Daniel Garcia. Once again, my man Daniel Garcia. RIMC. John Anderson. Algeray Sisson. Renetta Williams, the Queen, all the way from Wynn, Arkansas. Kenny Powers. Mark Wunderlich, Jenny James. Betty Frazier. Grab It Hard. Troy E. Hauser. Got the final win, the fourth and final win, ladies and gentlemen. 4 cases in 2 years. The fourth and final win. It's been a hell of a ride. Definitely been a hell of a ride. But it ain't over. It ain't over. Stay safe. Ladies, get yourself a dash cam. It'll help you out in court. Fellas, always record. See police activity, pull out your camera and record it. I'm out.
Hit the lights! Everybody about to get killed out here. Like it for everybody.
It's a very psychological thing that's happening here.
I'm just a black man with cameras.
I'm just a picture in the frame. Pause. I don't control. I paint word pictures on the canvas of life.
I'm everywhere in public.